Welcome to the kidsministry.blog podcast. Every episode, we share ideas, tips, and resources to help your children's ministry thrive.
Okay, let's unpack a scenario that if you've ever volunteered with kids, this might trigger a bit of a stress response.
I know this one.
You're sitting there, book open, reading a story you think is just incredible, maybe David and Goliath, and you look up expecting wonder, and instead, well.
It's a disaster.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah.
You've got kids just staring at the ceiling, picking at the carpet, or, literally falling asleep on the floor.
Exactly. And that is the problem we are solving today. We're doing a deep dive into the art of Bible storytelling, specifically how to stop being, a human sedative.
That's a good way to put it.
The mission is simple. How do we take just words on a page and turn them into a reality that keeps kids leaning forward?
And what's fascinating here is that the solution isn't about buying expensive equipment or like having a theater degree. It's all about a shift in delivery.
A shift how?
If you read straight from the text, especially something really formal like the King James Version, you lose them instantly. But if you just change the delivery, you change the entire room.
So let's break down the theatrics. Where do we even begin with that?
It starts with your vocal cords. You have to use different voices. And before you panic, it's not about doing a perfect impression.
Okay, good.
It's just about distinction. If you're voicing Goliath, just drop your register. Make him sound deep, booming. If it's King Saul, maybe he sounds a little older, a little worried.
Does that actually land, though? Or do the kids just look at you like you're having some kind of a crisis?
No, they love it because it creates character. There's this great story about a storyteller who used this specific kind of raspy voice for Pharaoh.
Right.
And later a kid came up to him and said, "That sounds just like my grumpy uncle." And boom, that kid remembered exactly who Pharaoh was and his personality because the voice anchored it.
It makes the character sticky. I get that. But voices are one thing. What about sound effects? I feel like that could get chaotic fast.
Controlled chaos is good. And we are not talking about a Bluetooth speaker or a soundboard. Low tech is the goal. Use your mouth. If you're telling the story of the Red Sea, give the big whoosh. If the walls of Jericho are falling, you need a crash boom.
It sounds a bit undignified for the adult in the room.
Dignity is completely overrated when you're trying to engage an 8-year-old. Come on. There was one case where a storyteller just made hee-haw donkey noises for Palm Sunday.
No!
Yes. The kids were laughing so hard. But here's the kicker. Months later, they remember the details of that story just because of a few hee-haws.
Because it disrupts the routine.
Precisely. And this connects to a broader principle, show, don't tell. This is so crucial because kids process visual emotion way faster than vocabulary.
So instead of saying the disciples were scared,
you embody it. You crouch down, you shake a little, you actually make a terrified face. They feel the emotion instead of just hearing the word for it.
Okay, so we've got voices, sound, and facial expressions, but you're still asking a bunch of energetic kids to just sit still in a chair. Is that even realistic?
Honestly, no. Passive listening is the enemy. You have to get the bodies moving. If you're talking about Jericho, have them get up and march around their chairs. If it's the Red Sea, have them walk between the rows of chairs like they're crossing on dry land.
I suppose that burns off some of that energy, too.
It does, and it keeps them inside the story. There was even a kid who asked if he could be a fish in the Red Sea while they walk through, and the answer is always yes.
I love that. But this all sounds great, but I'm imagining people thinking, I don't have a budget for props.
You don't need one. You just need a pantry. For the feeding of the 5,000, just hold up some goldfish crackers and a slice of bread.
It's apple.
Use a broom handle as a shepherd's staff. It just creates this tactile connection that anchors the memory.
So we have the action, the props, the noise, but let's flip it. What about silence?
This is where it gets really interesting. The power of the pause. Imagine saying, David put the stone in the sling. He swung it around and then just stop.
That feels risky. You're risking dead air.
It feels like a risk, but it's actually a magnet. That silence, it builds tension. It makes even the kids who know the ending lean in because they want you to break that tension. Though you do have to be careful. 5 seconds is probably the limit before a kid yells, "Tell us already."
Right. So we've got the technique down. But why does this actually matter? Is it just about keeping them entertained for 20 minutes?
No, not at all. The entertainment is just the hook. The real core purpose here is to make it about them.
What do you mean?
We need to connect these ancient stories to their current very real struggles. And you can do that by framing it in their world. There's a perfect example of a kid who listened to the David and Goliath story.
Okay.
And he identified a mean neighbor as his personal Goliath.
Wow, that's pretty heavy for a kid.
It is. But then he identified being kind as his slingshot. That is a profound emotional connection. He used a story from thousands of years ago to navigate a real conflict.
And that doesn't happen if you're just reading dry text.
Never. It only happens when you tell it like you mean it. Your enthusiasm is contagious. If you act like it matters, they'll feel like it matters.
What if I mess it up, though? I mean, what if I use the wrong voice or say the wrong name?
That's actually an opportunity. It really is. If you slip up, the kids will correct you. And that's brilliant because it turns your monologue into a dialogue.
And it proves they're listening.
It proves they're engaged enough to catch the error. So ultimately, we aren't just checking a box that a story was told.
Right. We're moving from information to transformation.
Exactly. When told correctly, these aren't just old stories to be memorized. They become mirrors where listeners can actually see themselves.
A lot to think about for next time. Thanks for listening to this deep dive.
I'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening. To find more ideas, tips, and resources, go to kidsministry.blog. We'll see you next time.